And what we do at that time is we speak to the students about what OCA is, what our agenda is towards school and how it helps them in the long run, both to stay connected with school and with each other and all of us. And we've been pretty successful in getting almost 70 to 80% of the graduating class each year to join OCA. And that's what has really worked well with us going into school and speaking to them. This year being the fact that the hall tickets may or may not be given out in person in a group, the principal has given us permission to maybe send her an email, which she will forward to the entire class. The other things in terms of what we have, our main items in the profit and loss account, we did start conducting the Hodiwala Cup in December and January last year, for which Mr. Bharat Gokal, one of our own members, was kind enough to be the prime sponsor. Between him and participation fees that we did, we collected about 1,58,000. We were not able to complete the Hodiwala Cup because of COVID. We had to stop it just immediately after cricket. But the expenses that were incurred were slightly more, and we were not able to recover it due to the fact that we had to stop it. So we did lose maybe about 60,000 rupees in that. Another main event that we did is this year, early in 2019, 2020, with the consent and with the permission of Principal Paul Machado, and at his request at that time, the senior school computer lab was upgraded by a fundraising effort from all of us at OCA. We raised around 11 lakhs and 50,000 towards this, and OCA from its own income spent covered the difference, and we bought 40 new computers, and the senior school lab now has brand new computers. That was an initiative that we took up and fulfilled last year. We really couldn't do much more, and so everything else, if you go through the accounts, are pretty small numbers, but these are the main heads of accounts and expenses and incomes. Overall, in the year, we had a surplus of about 12,000 rupees, which is better than we expected. We expected it to be somewhere, in the negative because of the Hodiwala Cup, but I guess the interest income did help overcome that. That's what I had for the accounts. If there's anyone who had any comments or suggestions, we'd love to hear them right now.
Dheeraj, the OCA also gave 14 laptops for the teachers, no?
That was last year back, sir. That was in 2018, 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, we had bought laptops for the teachers in the year before this accounting year. Hemant, I'll hand back to you.
Anything from Komal? Komal, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the opportunity. What I would like to bring to the notice of members was an income tax issue. Somewhere in assessment year 13-14, the tax department has raised some demand of 1,96,000. I mean, they deferred at the tax rate that was used by the trust and what they feel should be the right one. And after this raise, there were some orders given to them, some response given to them, and then that matter was silent. There was no further notice or response or anything. And this year, when we ran through the form 26AS, that is the income tax where you get all TDS details and everything, what we came to know was there was some refund of 46,000 rupees as per the form, but that never came in the bank account. And then further digging into the matter, we realized that last 3 years, the refund amount is getting adjusted against this 1.96 lakh demand. So since we finalized somewhere in December, we thought we'll have to further dig into this matter. Maybe we'll have to speak to someone who's looking into the tax and all. And then by March 21, we really need to come up with this issue, how to handle it. Because if we are not agreeing with that tax, then unnecessarily our money is getting blocked by them.
Thank you for that, Komal. I think I spoke with Vikram also about it, because nobody in OCA, including the previous office bearers were aware of this tax, I think, or this demand that we could find out. So KS Iyer and your firm and Vikram through BTA are actually trying to help us find out exactly what this is and what the issue is, because nobody's aware of it. So I think once you get that information, it may be helpful for us to sit down, go through it, and then maybe put a representation to the income tax, maybe.
Yeah. That's the reason why we didn't take any action in books in March 20. We thought we'll take appropriate action in March 21.
Correct.
How we need to go about.
Dheeraj, one more thing I just wanted to bring here. I mean, the address which is being mentioned on the portal, which is for the OCA's registered address probably. So I don't know what is the current and correct address, because to my knowledge, the old address is still continuing on the website, and all the communication from the department is being delivered to that address. And that is why nowhere is in the know-how of all those notices and everything.
We did change the address, right, for on the portal.
What is the correct address? Because I remember it is some Churchgate address currently appearing on the portal.
Yeah, I think about 2 months back when this was brought to notice, we changed the mobile number as well as the address, the registered address on the income tax portal. Okay. But if not, the school has given us permission, so we are able to move the address to school as well.
I see. Okay.
Care of the principal.
So that going forward, if there is any communication from the department or whatever, so that, you know, we receive it well in time. Otherwise, at times it gets time barred also.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, that is all, I guess.
Okay. Thank you, Vikram.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'd love to get to the bottom of this and clear. Thank you, Komal, for sharing that with us. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free. Otherwise, we'll adopt the annual report and audited statements.
Hi, Hemant. This is Showman Parekh from the class of 2001. If I have just one point, in addition to changing this address, if we can also just do a sanitation check, what the addresses are with the relevant statutory authorities that we may be registered with for across the board. I mean, I know that it's being done for the tax thing, but generally for the other ones as well, it would be helpful to ensure that we don't get into any future issues. That's the only short one.
Absolutely, sure. Absolutely, we agree. We've already done it with the Charity Commission. I know we'd gotten Mr. Paul Machado to give us the okay from at that time, 2-3 years back, when we had done it and moved the address back from Riviera building in Marine Drive back to 13 Cooperage. But as you said, all the departments should also be appraised of that, at least the ones that we're dealing with. I think outside of the Charity Commissioner's office, the other one would be the tax authorities. If anything else, then we'll definitely appraise them as well. Okay, if there's nothing else, then this is adopted. I'd like to take the chance and opportunity to introduce our chairperson and the principal of Campion School, Ms. Bhavna Mehrotra. Ms. Bhavna Mehrotra has joined last year, and in the midst of COVID-19 and a very, very challenging role that she had to take on, filling in very, very big shoes left by Mr. Paul Machado. And I think she's done a wonderful job in the time that she has been here in handling not just the school, but the safety of students, being able to organize classes virtually, being able to get people to come to school in the midst of this COVID, the admin staff, etc. I'm sure we'd love to hear more from her. Ms. Mehrotra.
Thank you, Mr. Rao, for your kind words. Good evening, everyone. When we honor the past, we energize the future, and the present becomes a celebration. Here's to many future celebrations, and warmest congratulations to each of you for being the legacies to inspire the future. It is with gratitude, joy, and humility that I address you today. It is an honor and an incredible privilege to serve as a principal of Campion. Most people don't get the opportunity to work for a legendary institution that has been around for 77 years. Even fewer have the opportunity to join it when big events occur. I was fortunate to join Campion during these extraordinary times. It is now almost 7 months since I formally took over as a principal at Campion. I'm overwhelmed by the love, affection, support, and cooperation that each member of the Campion family has given me from the moment I arrived in Mumbai, to say the least. I would like to thank each one of you, from the management, OCA, ex-Campionites, staff, students, and the school parents, for welcoming me and accepting me as one of your own. OCA is the glue that unites one generation with the other, and across the miles that often separate us, both literally and figuratively. It's impossible to be humbled and impressed by the contributions of the Campaignites in each field of our society, from sports to defense, business, finance, and so on. As we look to our future, the constant we can count on is change. What will Campion look like 50 to 100 years from now? We can only imagine. But with such a great history to draw from and a steadfast focus on protecting our values, it appears to be a very bright future indeed. Campen is known by its tenacity, perseverance, and adaptive resilience, and in no small measure because of unfailing dedication to trying and trying again, rising and rising again by its leaders, staff, students, alumni, and the community. Campen stands today on a foundation that is strong. It is, however, a foundation we, the school and OCA together, will build upon, not rest upon. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to address you today. Many thanks to the outgoing trustees for their tremendous and invaluable contribution, and best wishes to the new team. May continue to build on the legacy of the past and handhold the future. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was lovely. And I mean, I think your words show you've been here not just, less than, just 6 months, but it feels you've been here, almost 10 years. Very useful. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And I would like to tell everyone as well that ever since Ms. Mehrotra joined, she's embraced OCA, and even though most of us have not formally even met her, but she's embraced us as an organization and opened doors for OCA and opportunities for interaction with the students. And we really appreciate that. Thank you so much, ma'am. And we hope to see more of you in our OCA meetings going forward. Moving forward, we'd like to talk about the election and appointment of trustees in place of those who are interested in stepping down. So in that, there'll be Karan Aluwalia, who was the treasurer, and myself will be stepping down as managing members of the management office bearers, and we'd be and Xerxes Master will be stepping down as a trustee, and in his place we'd be having Anuj Goyal. I know Dheeraj is smiling over there. I know why you're smiling. In his place will be coming Anuj Goyal. Anuj Goyal has already worked with the trustees for more than a year. From 2019 itself, he has been working with the trustees. What we basically put in place is, for those of you who may not be aware, is instead of just electing and bringing someone into the organization, we want to first know that they are dedicated to the organization. So we bring them in a year before. We give them a year to work with the trustees, see how good their work is, how dedicated they are. And once they show their dedication, then we officially bring them in as a trustee. So Anuj has done about a year and a half of work. He's been very involved and very supportive in the organization, as well as a lot of the events, along with Aditya Maheshwari. And so we would like to present him as a trustee to be coming in place of Xerxes Master. Anuj, welcome. Good to have you here. Are you there?
Hi, Hemant. Thanks so much for introducing me. Hi, everyone. So I'm from batch of 2001. And it's really an honor to be one of the trustees on OCA. all I can say is in the last 1.5 years, I've gotten to know so many things that we do as a group. And let me assure you that there are so many things that are planned for 2021 and for the years to come. So just a whole lot of stuff coming your way. But we definitely would want more suggestions. And if there's anything that is something in particularly in mind, we would love to hear that and incorporate that as a part of the agenda. Thanks.
And for those of you who don't know, Anuj also runs Bridgevasi. So all of OCA events are funded and sponsored by them.
Thanks, Hemant.
Awesome. All right, we'd like to introduce the new office bearers of the association. The way it works is while we're a society, we're also a trust. We have been discussing that offline with Rustam Vakil, who's a former OCA president, and of course, the driving force behind the class of 1970. We are working on streamlining the organization, which Dheeraj and the incoming office bearers and the trustees will work with Rustam and others to make the organizational structure going forward smoother and clearer. But with that, I'd like to welcome our new president, Dheeraj Mehra, from the class of 1990, our incoming secretary, Mr. Aditya Ghasi Maheshwari, from the class of 96, and our incoming treasurer, Mr. Abhishek Gupta, Abu, from the class of 1999. And all of them have had joined in 2017, and over the last 4 plus 3.5-4 years, they have worked dedicatedly for OCA and for Campionites everywhere. Even the amazing thing with this group of trustees that we have is there's no single leader. Each person is a leader on his own, and that's what it really makes it warms my heart, and it makes me so proud that each of us, if one person is busy or he's tied up, and in this case, say it was me, Dheeraj or Abu or Aditya or Prabhav or Nakul, Anuj, all of them would rise to the occasion and do whatever needed to be done, because they took it as their own organization. They never felt there's someone above me or nothing. It was like, I want to do this and I'm going to get it done. And so it gives me great pleasure to introduce all of them. Dheeraj, welcome, congratulations. Can we have a few words from you?
Sure, Hemant. Thank you so much for introducing us all in such a wonderful way. I think OCA has a legacy, and people like Rustam have really created a very, very strong base for someone like me who's taking over in 2021. My uncle, Mr. Jitinder Mehra, J.R. Mehra, was one of the initial founders of OCA. When I spoke to him and I told him I'm going to be doing this, the only thing he told me is, you have really, really big shoes to fill, beta. Just think of everyone before you that has been the president of this organization. You need to make all of us, you take our legacy and take it forward. And I really hope that, we will. As Hemant mentioned, there are a few things that I think OCA needs to have streamlined, part of which is our administrative process and some of the other, like legacy issues that we had over the past few years. So I look forward to working with everyone, all of you, not just the trustees and not just the office bearers, but I think all of us together can really do some wonders with, our love for the school and with our enthusiasm to, be with each other. So I look forward to my term, and I really thank you, Hemant, for everything that you have done. Back to you, Hemant.
Thanks, Dheeraj. I'm guessing, Yassi, are you there, or have you already taken off? I'm not sure.
He's on a flight. His flight took off like 5 minutes back. So I hope he's not here.
It looks like he's there, but I'm guessing he can't talk much. Abu, I'm not sure if you can hear because you're also in a remote location, but if you can, would love to have a quick word or at least a hello from you.
Yes, Hemant, thanks. Sorry, my net is really bad. So thank you for this opportunity. And like you mentioned, in the last From 2017 end is when we got into the OCA trustees, and we've been doing a lot of things in and out, and look here as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Abu. Thanks, guys. What we'll do is, before we go to the next item, which is to ratify the appointment of KSIR, just would like to take you through a few things over the last year. In last year, we bid farewell to some of our dearly beloved teachers and brothers, Mr. P.K. Bhatia and Mr. Sam Mazzarello. Mr. Bhatia was an iconic teacher in Hindi. Mr. Sam Mazzarello, of course, one of our most fun PT teachers. Other than them, we have Mr. Maxim Heredia, Mukund Murthy, Ranjit David, Charles Pinto, Sanjay Seth, who was also an OCA trustee before we took over, Pramit Tagore, and Arnab Basu. I'd love to talk about each of them, but due to paucity of time, we wish them all a happy journey ahead. At the same time, we send our condolences as OCA to their families and wishing them strength moving forward. For those of you who may or may not know, since 2017, what started as one OCA group, which was the trustees group, it's pretty much exploded to the point that some of my co-trustees say that, are we going to start another group? But the nice thing in this is that each of these groups, one of the first ones was this one here called Campion Connect, which I think in 24 hours or in a day or two, it filled up an entire WhatsApp group. The second one, Campion Connect 2, blew up and had another 250 people sign up in a month. Then everyone were like, do we need to have so many WhatsApp groups of Campion Connects? We moved it all into one Telegram group. Other than that, we have the Legal Eagles group of Campion. It's a beautiful group in which people can come in and ask questions to all lawyers who are all lawyers from Campion. We have the Platinum group, which is one person per year over the last effectively 70 years, but basically from the year 1960 onwards. And we have most of those years on board. We have the doctors of Campion. Anyone has any medical emergency, medical help, they can reach out to OCA trustees, who in turn will connect to the doctors group. And they also internally network with each other for any things, ideas, opportunities, young, old, everyone. We have the most active group, of course, which is the Back Garden group, which has got over 200 members. We have the Tagore Hall, and then we have the regional groups. We have Middle East, US and Northern Europe, North America, Asia Pacific, APAC, and UK and Europe. So each of these groups have got their own networking and activity. I think with COVID, of course, things have become a little quiet on those groups, but I'm sure that moving forward, activity will pick up once people start moving out again. Even though this last year has been pretty quiet for everyone, there has still been a lot of things that took place. The first one was the Senior School Computer Lab, which was an initiative driven by Mr. Paul Machado and Aditya Maheshwari. Aditya came to the school and came to OCA and said, we need to get this done. And he mobilized the funds from OCA, from people and everything, and all from various people. Thank everyone who donated to that. And here you can, of course, see the photo of everyone, smiling faces pre-COVID. And of course, the school had honored us with a plaque on the lab with love from OCA. Next, of course, the Hodiwala Cup. Going in, while we had planned to start this in Jan, it got pushed on until March. And even then, we were wondering whether we can actually have the Hodiwala Cup. We were able to squeeze in, I think, the football and cricket events, but we could not finish the others, which were the basketball, volleyball, running, and a few more. But from the event that took place, Loyola House, of course, won that part of the Hodiwala Cup. And I'm sure we look forward to the next one once things open up. Of course, here you have Xavier and Brido at the ground at the Oval Maidan. And of course, the Lola House winning team, which I'm sure Dheeraj is very happy to see.
Yeah, I just want to interject that thanks to Anuj, he single-handedly. A lot of us had a lot of things on our plate, but Anuj single-handedly actually carried the Hodiwala Cup through the organization for us. So Anuj, hats off and thank you for that.
Thank you, Anuj. Thank you so
Debatable
much.
who won, but I think we should give it to Loyola this year.
Go Brito.
We didn't finish the cup, so it still doesn't go to Loyola. It's still there.
Well, they won 2 out of 2 sports.
Well said. Well said.
We're waiting for you guys. Come on, bring it on. All right. The OCA Career Day talks. During the lockdown, of course, there was very little that we could do. Dheeraj and Gussie with Miss Mehrotra had initiated the OCA Career Day talks. And as you can see here, you've got some of the boys listening in, and we had Zarir Warden, as you can see on the right hand side, and I think various people, Jogesh Lulla. I'm not able to get all the names. Dheeraj, can you?
Yeah, sure. So we actually had three career day talks. The first was on sports and fitness. The second was on careers in art and film, and the third was a series that our own Vivek, and he's here on the call. I'm sure he's listening in, but he ran a two-hour workshops on behind the camera and in front of the camera. So these were all okay. I guess Dasi's leaving now. We were all we brought in Campionites in these fields, and we try to do things outside of the norm of being a lawyer, a doctor, being an accountant, being a business person, an entrepreneur. We try to look for alternatives which students would be interested. The great thing with this was that not only were our own students interested, but we partnered with Mrs. Mala Ramudurai, who's an ex-history teacher at Campion and presently the chairperson of the City Academy for Special Education. So not only did our own students benefit, but with the permission from Mrs. Mehrotra, we brought in students from the City Academy. These are students with learning disabilities or some sort of physical or mental disability. And it's really gone well, and we look forward to taking this ahead in the current year after the exams get over in March. We've got another 2 or 3 more topics lined up already, and we'll start reaching out to people as we get dates.
Awesome, awesome. Looking forward to more of those career day talks. I think some of us also need some change in careers, so maybe that'll help us as well. Rustam Vakil from the class of 1970 initiated with his class GAVE 50. Rustam, if you can tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, well, the GAVE stood for the Golden Anniversary Virtual Event. 50 for, of course, the golden anniversary of our leaving school in 1970. And perhaps the pandemic gave us a larger window of opportunity, because we had totally 37 people, students, ex-students, taking part in the online celebration on the 27th of November, which was the last day of our ISC exams. And we used the occasion, as you can see just now on the screen, the Golden Anniversary Trophy of the class of 1970, which was a follow-up on the Ruby Anniversary Trophy, which we gave in 2010. And along with that, a check of 50,000 rupees to the school. And the event itself, I mean, I think not only brought in everyone, it lasted for well over 2.5 hours, which was pretty much more than I expected. And the first hour and 15 minutes or so was a little bit of a formal presentation where, thanks to Patrick, we were able to put up a lot of the old time videos of the march pasts and the other activities, the Parents' Day activity that we used to have in the back gardens. So we had videos, we had photographs, we had 3 of the teachers from our time. I mean, amazingly, our 3rd standard when we joined school, 1962 class teachers, both were, we were able to contact them and to get messages from them. Also, Jamie, who perhaps some of you may have been there in your time from the office. And we were very happy to have the principal also join us and address us at that time. Mr. Machado, we missed you. For some reason, you were unable to join. But all in all, we raised a toast and we cut a cake, and post the formal ceremony, the formal part of the evening, which was we had a master of ceremonies who also sang certain songs from the 1960s and of those days. And then it was a free-for-all chat session, which lasted another hour and 15 minutes or so, when everyone took part and got together and connected from literally all corners of the world. The challenge really being how to place the time so that a guy in New Zealand would not be in the dead of night, and a guy in Vancouver would not be at dead of night. But I think we managed that reasonably well. And I think we are now looking forward to our 60th year of joining school, which is going to be next year on the 7th of January. So, well, we create events to celebrate. And well, that's about it. I think all classes should, use this, even if the pandemic is not there, to have one event which is done online, since technology permits it, because it certainly enables a lot of people from around the world to also participate, get together, and really, many guys saw each other literally after 50 years to the day. Thanks, Ahmed.
Wow. Rustam, you always inspire the other classes with how you guys have been bonded for so many years, having left camp in 50 years back, and you guys are still close, having almost 40 people to attend this virtually at that time, and still be involved in the school so closely. Really appreciate it, and thank you for blazing the path for the rest of us. Hopefully, one day we will also be known as the best class of Campion.
If you will see in this photograph here, you can see we had T-shirts made for the organization. Rajesh Batra sponsored the T-shirts by House, and so that was also a nice touch that we all had our T-shirts in the colors of our houses.
Lovely, lovely. Mr. Machado may start charging you, but now that the school, or Ms. Malhotra may start charging you the trademark fees for the shirts in the future, though. Anyway, thank you so much, Rustam. And going back to our agenda, so we'd love to go ahead and ratify the appointment of KS Iyer and company as our auditors for the year, for this last year as well, 2020-21, which is going on, and fix their remuneration. Vivek, are you there, or Komal, would you like to say anything about the remuneration?
I think regarding the remuneration, partner will be the right person to talk with the management. So I leave it up to the partner.
What I can pipe in on this, they have always been very reasonable with us. KS Iyer is one of the partners at KS Iyer is an ex-Campionite and has been managing our books very professionally and in a very timely manner now since much before 2017. I believe they were appointed in 2015 or it was in 2016. But what I can say is the support that we get from them is fabulous. There's never been anything that is not caught by them, just like this income tax matter that they pointed out less than a month ago to us. So in my opinion, they're doing a very good job, and we should ratify them, but it depends on us as a team, I guess, as an individual.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words.
So, can I propose the ratification?
Thank you so much, Mr. Kanoria.
Very great. Okay. We'd love to move to the next item.
You got to second and pass it here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I will enthusiastically second it.
Okay, that is passed. This takes us to our vote of thanks to Mr. Paul Machado as you all know, Mr. Paul Machado has been at the helm of Campion for almost 17 years, or around 17 years. And he had then taken the role of a director of education of Campion since last year. And from March 2021 onwards, he'll be stepping down and moving ahead with future plans. Mr. Machado, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
So OCA would like to thank you so much for everything you've done, not just for Campion, because I know enough people have thanked you. The PTA has been wonderful in the way they have appreciated the work that you have done, and we also would love to do that, post-COVID, which we would like to thank you, because OCA today owes its rejuvenation only thanks to you. For those of you who may or may not know, Mr. Machado had spoken to me in 2017. We had been interacting about various things, but he had spoken to me in 2017 and said, "Hemant, what's happening with OCA?" And he, with that, Prabhav and me were initially pulled in by him to start seeing what can be done with OCA, because OCA was not really doing much at the time. It had done tremendous things in the past, but last few years it had slowed down. Even our galas were being cancelled or hardly attended, and it's only through the injection of enthusiasm that Mr. Machado injected us with that we all got mobilized, and we got the new office bearers come into OCA, changed the organization, brought in a lot more people. And I think for those of you who attended on March 15th, 2018, would have seen that we had almost 600 people attending the OCA Gala. You would have seen that OCA was back with a bang. So we owe a lot of our present existence to Mr. Machado and all that he's done. Sir, we can't thank you enough for what you've done for OCA. You've always opened doors for us, not just for OCA, but even for all Campionites. Every Campionite whose son studies in Campion tells me that when they first come, and your question to them is, "Oh, you're an old Campionite. What have you done for Campion?" So that has obviously then made them realize that they need to, and that's how they get involved with OCA. They get involved with the school, and they start giving back in their own way. So thank you for making Campionites more Campionites, and we can't thank you enough. And we wish you all an amazing next phase of your life, and hope we'll always be close to you wherever you are.
Thank you, Hemant. Thank you so much. You have been very kind with your words.
So if you'd like to take a minute, we'd love to hear something from you, sir.
Okay, I think, Hemant, if you had to tell me now, I would have prepared a nice speech. I'll be able to.
So I don't think you ever need to prepare a speech, sir.
Okay. Anyhow, first taking on whatever Mr. Rustam said. Yes, even 2010 they had a lovely gathering. Their 40th year. They had an assembly in the Togo Hall where they made me to address them, though they are of my age. So they consider me as a principal to address them. But Mr. Rustam, I'm sorry I could not attend your this online get together due to my health issues. I had a severe sinus problem. I'm sorry. Okay, anyhow, I wish all of you all the best. And to tell you, the last 17 years at Campion has been very enriching for me. They have been a great years. I know the love and affection that I get from the staff, teachers, parents, and of course, ex-students is wonderful. So when I get this affection and love from all these stakeholders, I feel that I may have touched them, touched their hearts. And I'm sure that all of you as ex-Campionites will carry forward the legacy of Campion, as well as what Campion stands for. The loyalty, the courage and commitment, all these should be a part of your life. And I'm sure Campionites or ex-students, for that matter, of any school, have a lot to offer for their own school, as well as for the society. And I'm happy that the Campionites coming back to school and giving their time, energy. Of course, they're also helping the school financially. And I'm sure this will be carried on for ages to come. Yes, I will be leaving Campion in a month's time, but Campion will be there in my heart. just like St. Mary's is there in my heart. Of course, you won't like it.
So you can't say that over here.
So these two schools have taught me many things in my life, and I've learned a lot. So I wish you all the best, all of you, and great going. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
And one thing I must say, I have been in Campion for more years than you all have been in Campion. Right?
I know, sir. I know, sir. That's why you're an OCA member as well.
So therefore, you need to have one, as I told you, one link in the OCA website for all those teachers to enroll themselves as a Campionite, all Campionites.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir. Moving forward, if there are any other matters that anyone would like to bring up?
If I might just give some broad thought and concept of what we should look at doing in this next couple of years. We had started way back in 1998 or so to gather information of the ex-Campionites who are all over the world in terms of which institutions they studied in, where they have worked, where they are based, etc. The whole idea and concept being that as and when new youngsters from Campion, when they pass out, when they are unaware and they need guidance in terms of what career to follow, in terms of what are the options or opportunities they have, in terms of which university is recommended or they believe they should look at. When it comes to immigration related questions, there's so much that a youngster is so confused about at that age of his life. We would have a lot of people who have done that, been there, and who can be, in a sense, a supporter. When a young man goes abroad for the first time, is in college, is in a new kind of era, parents would feel a lot of comfort. I mean, I experienced that firsthand when my son went to UK, and a friend of mine was based over there. He received him at the airport, took him to the college, settled him in. It was such a kind of a reassuring feeling that my wife and I had, that there's somebody known to us who's there in case of need. So I think we need to build up such a directory gradually, and that would be of tremendous value to the youngsters passing out of the school. Well, here's a youngster who might be a Campionite. I can't say for sure. That decision is his parents, but but I would think that this is something which the new committee should look at and start building up a directory. It would have immense value.
Absolutely, Rustam. We agree with you. What we have done is that we have an OCA LinkedIn page. So anyone from a networking perspective today can go in, and once they join it, then everyone gets to know. So it's not just for education, but tomorrow if I'm joining a company and the person that I know is in that company who's a Campionite, by going to the LinkedIn page, then immediately you get connected. The other thing is that the WhatsApp groups have been very active. So not just for mentoring, but if anything anyone needs, if a person is, like you said, going to a certain university or a certain job, they are able to immediately send a message out in the group and they get connected in seconds. So while that is something that we have tried doing as on an organizational level, to have all that information in place, this is just it seems to be an easier and quicker fix for that. But we will work towards improving our database, because that's definitely what we need to have everyone connected in a better way. We had actually tried an alumni, we had been looking at alumni network applications. Abhishek Gupta was looking at it. We tried a few. Mighty Networks was one. A couple of others, we'd spoken to them and everything. But then we found that maybe it'll take some more time. But in the meantime, these groups seem to be serving a decent role for what we require.
Can I say something, Hemant, please?
Please, Vivek, please.
Yeah. So basically, as you know, I did a bunch of workshops with the children, and they worked very well. And I realized that there was this glaring hole, I mean, if they want to be engineers or doctors or lawyers or stockbrokers, they have advice. There's parental advice, there's school advice. If you want to go to IIT, IIM, there are coaching classes. But if you want to enter the realm of media, if you want to be a journalist or an actor, or if you want to work on OTT, or if you want to be the president of 20th Century Fox, or you want to be the vice president of Netflix, you don't really know the way forward. You don't know what to study. You don't know what. You just know that, there is something there which is very big. And I got that feedback from a whole bunch of them after I finished with the workshops. So I actually talked to Aditya, and I said that I would be very happy to set up a career counseling cell for Old Campionites Association, dealing with the unusual and different careers in media. Right now at Campion, they finish at 12, so their 11th and 12th is more or less sorted because they will go to. But post 12 standard, they have no clue which stream to take, where to study, do it in India, do it abroad. So I thought maybe every year there will be a recurring 10th standard into the 11th, into the 12th. And those who are Old Campionites in OCA from the 11th and 12th, maybe once every 3 months, maybe 4 times a year, maybe 6 times a year, either online or if time and COVID permits, even offline, to sit across with Old Campionites, talk to them, guide them, and tell them what to do, how to do, what kind of career, what they should study, how they should qualify, and how to translate that skill that they have into an actual career, because they're all talented. But talented people somehow find that if they don't know how to use their talent and make it into a career, they sit unemployed, which is a very big pity, and these, especially careers in media, are the big, lucrative, fabulous careers of the next couple of decades.
Yeah.
So I thought it's not fair that Campionites of all, people should be playing blind man's buff, whereas I'm teaching everybody else how to become successful, and they are. So I thought I'll just sound you guys off today, but maybe, we could, 3 or 4 of us could meet separately and work out a concrete plan.
That'll be great.
Create a career counseling cell for media, for things like journalism and advertising and cinema and OTT and television and radio and stand-up comic and theater and various others. And I know all of them, and one by one, I'm sure we can give them the edge over others. So I thought I'd just propose this to you guys, and maybe we can connect and have an in-depth conversation on this so that we could move at once.
That'll be great, Vivek. That'll be really great. We'd love to do that. I think it's a great idea, and thank you so much for that. You blazed the trail much earlier to everyone, and you didn't have anyone guiding you. With your guidance this time round, I'm sure there'll be dozens of.
Yeah, and in the time when there was really nothing, I launched 47 film directors, 37 actors, 28 of my assistants have become big stars.
Wow.
8 from Campion. Mudassar Aziz was doing nothing with his life when I made him direct Dula Mil Gaya. He's huge. Sanjay Gadvi, ex-Campionite. After assisting for 2 years, he directed Dhoom and Dhoom 2.
Wow.
And there's a whole bunch of them. Vinay Jain. So really, Shah Rukh lived in my house for 2 years and has become into Shah Rukh Khan. So from just talking to it actually becoming into a templated way of qualifying yourself to become successful, it's all there. And I really, at a certain point, 100 years ago when I turned 50, I thought it was time to seriously give back. Incidentally, for those who don't know, I have been for the last 2 years the Dean of the School of Contemporary Media at Pearl Academy. So there is already a certain situation where there are templated qualifying courses with me guiding them. So I think we should start this conversation so that OCA actually becomes into a go-to place. If you need a skill, if you need to get advice on career, you need to shift jobs, you need to shift careers. There's so much we can do for our newer Campionites.
I think some of the trustees are hoping that they will also try and they can still be actors. So we may, I think Anuj has already volunteered.
I can see Anuj laughing over there. I could see him listening very intently when I did those career counseling courses. But yes, you see, entrepreneurial courses in cinema are very big. A lot of people have money, they want to invest, they don't know what to do. And they think they have money so they can become producers, not realizing that it's qualification that takes you to success, not really finance. and who knows what will develop. I just thought we should start this conversation, and I think it'll benefit a whole bunch of our kids.
I agree. I think something we definitely would love to, we'll discuss this post the meeting and see how to take it forward with the team. Thank you so much, Vivek. Thank you so much.
Guys.
Going forward, so as I mentioned earlier, that we have a system now. It will be formalized, of course, going forward as we discuss it with the trustees and people like Rustam. Is we bring in incoming people, OCA members, into the trustees group for them to work with OCA, managing various things in OCA. Over the last year, we found interest from several of them who've come forward and volunteered that they'd like to be involved with OCA in a more active way. So in that, we have with us today Dennis Tarapurwala, who is the school captain. I think 1987 or 86. Dennis, are you there?
Yeah, Hemant, I'm here.
Hi, Dennis. Would love to hear a little bit about you as we introduce you to OCA.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So I'm from the class of 1986, and that's when I was the school captain. I did 10 years at Campion, a great decade. We'll never forget it. And that's about it. Like you said, and you had a chance to chat with me, and you thought maybe I should look at it as a 1-year period where I could come on board and see how I could contribute. So I'm looking forward to that and discovering how to get involved, what is the best niche, and try and pick up from you guys which direction we can go in.
Awesome. Thanks, Dennis. Dennis also runs Crease Communications, a communication and PR agency. Great to have you with us, Dennis, and guide us as well.
Super, look forward.
Next, I'd love to introduce to you Raviraj Kulkarni. Raviraj is from the class of 2006, and he's also been doing a lot of work helping the school in clearing up some of the issues that they face with the BMC. Raviraj works with the government professionally. And Raviraj, if you're there, would love to have you give us a line about yourself. I think you're on mute, Raviraj. Okay, we'll circle back once we hear from him. And the other person I would love to introduce, but I don't think he's on the call as yet, is Partip Tyagarajan. Partip runs weddingsutra.com, one of the largest events, connected websites for weddings, and very passionate as well about OCA. And with his experience in events and media and various things, he'll be a huge asset to to OCA and the members. Partip, I don't see you here, but if you're here, I would love to hear from you. If not, I'll I think move forward. So this is who the people who would be joining the trustees. If anyone else wants to join, they're more than welcome. These are the people that we've had a conversation with. They can reach out to any of the OCA trustees and get more involved in any of the events. It's something like this is it. You know, we're always open to more people coming in. The idea is that OCA wants to have as many people involved as possible. So with that, we'd love to close the meeting if there's nothing else. Thank you all for being here today and taking your time, and hope we get to see you in this year. We didn't get to see a lot of you in the last year, but I hope all of you are well. I hope all of you are safe, and wishing Dheeraj, Gussie, and Abu all the best as they take OCA forward along with the other trustees. As I said, every trustee is the president of OCA, and every OCA member is the president of OCA. So wishing everyone the best, and let's take OCA and Campion to great heights. Thank you, everyone. With this, we can leave and stay safe, enjoy the weekend, and see you all soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. See you guys.
Hemant, I think the meeting is still being recorded.
You can end it.